Hi, my name is Heather Mackey. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine. And today we are talking about conspiracy realism. As I've called it for many moons, conspiracy realism. Hey! Um, there's a quality that's referred to as dissonance in the experience of being one of the 99%. I would imagine the 1% sticks to their consistent matrix of belief and perhaps doesn't have as much dissonance. But dissonance is where we have a way we've believed, a mental carapace and construct that we live within that's the fabric of our reality and our belief matrix. And when we get exposure to something outside of that matrix, it causes dissonance. So I had the pleasure of speaking with a couple of different brilliant, beautiful beings today. And one of the conversations that came up was this nature of dissonance, where if you've been Baptist, let's say, your whole life, and an alien walked up to you, you might delete that file as soon as they walked away because it would be so dissonant to the matrix of what you know to be true. So this conversation of conspiracy realism, it's really important to start from a place of, it's one of the things that we talk about in the quantum self class, but the place of being able to hold any information, not feeling threat or not feeling like we need to go running down a negative pathway, just launching down that pathway of negative thinking, just because we received information that may be judged as negativistic in nature. Learning to neutralize the holding of information within the self so that we don't, get triggered and perpetuate the negative paradigm through self-fulfilling prophecy of holding consciousness in that vein. You hold a piece of information, it's negative in nature, and you go, oh, and then just get stuck in a rut of thought if you're not careful. So the first place I want to begin in this conversation is planting that seed or holding that awareness of I can receive information and also choose to neutrally hold it and not be triggered by it. Yeah, I want to thank y'all for letting me come to you in my slippers and literally in pajama clothing. And welcome to 2020. What a wonderful year that I get to mostly live in my pajamas. Finally someone's taking notes up there in heaven. Well, yeah, everything comes down to the way we hold it, doesn't it? Everything comes down to perspective. And I remind myself before I am going to hold information that is not in the matrix of my belief construct, something that may give me dissonance, I remind myself that I hold the light of truth and the light of love as the greatest awareness. I hold unification instead of separation as the place that I stand in, and that nothing can cause me to falter in that awareness. And then I introduce new information. So I have wanted to have access to watch Gaia TV. Gaia, one of the names for the earth most two-leggeds know, is a television choice like Hulu or Netflix or Prime TV or Disney or whatever kids are choosing these days. So I really like it because they talk about a lot of stuff that rivets me, that I find so interesting to discuss. And one of the veins of topics they talk about beyond spiritual metaphysical topics is conspiracy realism, as I love to call it. So, yeah, I finally got a computer, the internet, and access to all these things, including Gaia TV. I decided to allow myself to include that in my available consciousness infiltration. I really thoroughly enjoyed having no media, no TV in my awareness, no standard marketing from capitalism in my awareness for many years. So I work to continue to like make sure that I'm being mindful that if I'm going to watch programming, that it is rewiring and reprogramming me. So there is a movie called The Bilderberg Movie, Bilderberg, Bilderberg movie. It's based on a meeting that started in the 50s where several high-ups from several different governmental systems, banking systems, and I'm talking about globally, come together. Certain components of the media that take a vow of silence, they come together in an annual meeting and discuss something that has like presently an 8-kilometer protection radius around the locality of that meeting. And that meeting is done in secret. Everything is off record. And to this day, since the 50s, when these major entities get together, that gathering is completely private to the masses. So one of the ways that those that have been kind of running the show, there's several modalities, I guess, in which they do this, but one of the ways that they continue to have the power to run the show, as it were, is they control your mind. They control the neural network, the neuropeptide release of your brain. They control your brain biochemistry. How do they do that? They do that through the incessant mental manipulation of ensuring that your consciousness is built under a paradigm of the media they would have you see. So it's corporations that own media or programming that you watch, and those corporations are very involved and invested with banking organizations, and those banking organizations are running the country. They're putting people in office, and we're believing in our voting system. And I'm not here. We all potentially know now I'm apolitical. If you've ever watched a video of mine, I try to point that out more and more, because although it's a deeply, very unpopular stance to take, it's one I've almost always taken, because I don't believe that the people have the power. I don't believe that the 99%. I do believe that the 99% are being made and conditioned to believe that if they question politics, if they question the government, if they question capitalism, if they question prevailing paradigms, which is, this freedom word that people love to throw around and sprinkle on top of French fries and everything that we can conceive of, that they're told, oh, what a weirdo, what a conspiracy theorist. So just a simple example of that would be aliens. Mathematicians will tell you it's mathematically unsound to not believe in aliens. It's just illogical if you follow the nature of mathematics and what we conceive to be the observable universe and what we conceive to be the hasn't been observed yet component of the universe. It's mathematically illogical to not believe in aliens, but you will have a level of dissonance if somebody tries to talk to you about this and you've never believed in aliens. You'll be like, okay. But as I've studied that topic more, it's like, hey, wait a minute. Well, hold on one second here. Okay, mathematics says it could be real. And yeah, I do see a lot of stars and a lot of infinite galaxies and a lot of largesse out there in the cosmos, in the universe. And I would like to say that, wow, what if I consider this alien situation? And then when you start diving in and you start opening the door and you start removing the concept of dissonance and you start allowing the self to kind of investigate probabilities, you go, well, why is it that so many humans globally have reported abductions, have reported, tales of engagement with alien beings if they don't exist at all? No, not ever, have never existed. I mean, that's kind of weird. Are we having a global hallucination, or are people just taking mushrooms or being given acid? And then how is it that globally all these people have had abductions? That's interesting. Plus, it's mathematically unsound to mathematicians. Interesting. Just take it in the facts, take it in the stories, take it in the whatever you want to label it with. And then, you can come to the understanding that, wow, what if there are aliens? So you start researching, well, how could I be a knower, which is my storyline with aliens. So then I'm like, well, let me look at astronauts and cosmonauts. Did you know that astronauts and cosmonauts, so we're talking American and Russian, two-leggeds that have been in space, there are cosmonauts and astronauts that are like, yes, there are aliens. Absolutely, there are aliens. Like, I've been way out there. Yes, I went to the moon and I've been out in space, and yes, this is a thing. Aside from all the military personnel that have seen them. And so the more you start to expose yourself to a conspiracy theory, the more you expose yourself to that which, historically, post Roswell, I live closer to Roswell now, they would just be like, this alien nut thinks a weather balloon is an alien. It's like, okay, everybody calm down. I appreciate mathematics because irrespective of my opinion or anyone else's opinion, the sacred geometry and the Fibonacci sequence lies back of the design. Mathematics is behind the design of what I see with my eyes. So there's some level of interest and intrigue in my awareness about that because no two-legged is influencing the Fibonacci sequence to be in the design. No two-legged is influencing sacred geometry to be part of the paradigm. So the reason I want to talk about conspiracy realism is not to convert you to my viewpoint, because I love diversity. In the respect and reverence for diversity, I want to offer a divergent message out there that does not call anyone a kook or a conspiracy theorist and say that it's viable. For some, we might say highly viable when 1% of the population holds 40% of the wealth, and a large group of these entities meet at a private secret meeting that is never discussed with the masses. It's viable that there may be some realism to the conspiracies that two-leggeds have talked about. Here's some things we can investigate individually. The Bilderberg movie on Gaia TV, Zeitgeist Addendum, or the movie Zeitgeist, both available on YouTube. You can research Bohemian Grove. You can research Illuminati. You can be like a scientist and investigate your theories, and we can see what kind of conclusion you individually come to when you investigate quote unquote conspiracies. What do you find to be true? I'm fundamentally a multiverse theorist, so because I believe that all the realities exist in the eternal moment of here now. The one that I like to shake into the fabric of the infinite number of matrices that exist, and I really believe that. I believe there is a singularity, which is life, energy, light, love. There are different words we could give it, but words are like such a paltry sum. And then there's the multilocality, which is the multiverses, the infiniteness within the emptiness, which everything is made ofness, that emptiness kind of expresses an infinite number of forms. So I just hold awareness as I watch all those things I just listed, the social dilemma, any of that. As I watch all of that, I remember, oh yeah, I choose the multiverse in which the 99% suddenly creates a reality where they learn to garden and grow their own food and share information and build a world and kind of stop using money and stop buying Amazon products and stop purchasing as much. They learn to feed themselves. They stop depending on the 1%. They stop playing the 1%'s game. And then this population control that's talked about in Bilderberg that they do, we just kind of take back our power and we learn to be mindful as part of the all. And we shift towards a paradigm of conspiracy realism that is focused in the light and the love and the unification and the camaraderie and the brotherhood, and the empowered peoples. One love, one kind, one man, one mind, unified. Blessed be.